Quarterback Gardner Minshew got traded from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, man. And look, I'm very thankful that Gardner Minshew was out of Jacksonville, but then he went to Philadelphia. So I'm having a hard time getting excited about this trade. What Philly got Gardner Minshew, a former, I think I believe he was a 6th round pick. Quarterback Gardner Minshew played really good the last 2 years in Jacksonville, was on a terrible team. I think, man, everybody blames Gardner for their failings. I go, that roster was horrendous. The coach got fired. Gardner's the only quarterback who's won a game in Jacksonville in 2 years. So I think Philadelphia got a steal. What the Jaguars got in the trade was they got a conditional 6th round pick. The condition is that if Gardner does play 50% of the snaps in 3 games this year, that 6th round pick becomes a 5th round pick. Basically, Jacksonville got nothing. Okay, and we'll get into why that's weird. I actually hate this trade for so many reasons, and I'm going to have a hard time not sharing just straight emotion because I have logical reasons why this trade is terrible, but I want to share first of all my heart, why I don't like this trade from a fan perspective. I made a video in 2019. I believe it came out in February 2019. I'm like a little squirrel. I just file away information. Like squirrels file away nuts. That's a terrible thing to say. My 3 favorite quarterbacks in college football history was what the video was titled. I think I said all time actually. And 2 of those quarterbacks from that list are now members of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're on the same team, Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts. I love Gardner Minshew's story. I love his philosophy of life. I love Jalen Hurts' story. I love how he's overcome so many different things and got benched for Tua, stayed in Alabama, fought hard, overcame adversity, went to Oklahoma, had a great year. He's gotten better. Every year I've watched Jalen Hurts. And so aside from big logical stuff, my first problem with this trade is that now I straight up do not know who to root for. I'm like, well, I love Jalen. He's one of my favorite players of all time. I feel the same way about Gardner Minshew. Now they're on the same team fighting for one spot. Only one of them can play. I hate that I can't root for both of them. I really, that's a funny way to go, but I'm sure that I'm the only person in the world that's like, I love Gardner. I love Jalen, but I root for people, not teams. And they're some of my favorite people in the NFL. Now, Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback. He's been there all through camp. Gardner is just now going to start learning the playbook. So he's way behind. Even if he wasn't, Jalen's the guy. Like Jalen Hurts is the guy leading their locker room through everything they've been through, leading all the way through training camp has been the guy. That's who the team, I believe, will fall in under. But this is a hill I will die on. And I will say this forever, is that if Gardner Minshew played on a good team, he would win. He would win a lot of games. And I honestly, for the life of me, cannot understand why other NFL evaluators, and I'm not just talking to me, I mean people in the league, why people don't see the value in Gardner Minshew. A team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who do not have a quarterback after Big Ben retires. Maybe they think it's Dwayne Haskins. I'll tell you what. Dwayne has been okay during preseason. Gardner Minshew's better. Or Washington. Is it Taylor Heinicke? Is it Ryan Fitzpatrick? They still don't really know who their long-term quarterback is. Why isn't Washington making a trade for Gardner Minshew? Or Denver? Did Denver forget 2 years ago when Gardner Minshew had a ridiculously good fourth quarter comeback to beat Denver? Apparently they all forgot because Denver's quarterback room is not that good, and yet still they could not find any reason to trade for Gardner Minshew. The New Orleans Saints, maybe Jameis Winston is their guy. If not, why not trade for Gardner? 6th round pick for Gardner Minshew. He's cheap. He's on a rookie contract. Maybe even the Giants, who don't know if Daniel Jones is their guy, why not bring in Gardner Minshew? Philadelphia is by far, I'm not going to say it's the worst, but it's definitely not, Philadelphia is definitely not the best place Gardner Minshew could have gone. He's accurate. He's a good decision maker. He can extend plays. He's really good at leaving the pocket, not running downfield, but running from the pocket to the sideline, keeping a play alive, finding people downfield. Go watch Washington State against USC, I think 3 years ago now, his senior year at Washington State. Phenomenal game. And I thought there was some stuff that Kyler Murray could have taken from Gardner's game. And not to mention, I referred to that game in Denver 2 years ago. Gardner Minshew was on the sideline going, hey, we got to go. We got to get this now. And firing up his teammates. And he led them to a come-from-behind victory in the fourth quarter against Joe Flacco's Denver Broncos 2 years ago. He's a galvanizing leader. So I just do not understand why people don't want to give Gardner a chance. Put this dude on a good roster with an opportunity to play. He would win games. Kind of honestly, it reminds me of Dak Prescott. When Tony Romo got hurt, Dak Prescott, an unknown rookie quarterback, came in on a really good Cowboys team. That year, the Cowboys were stacked, and Dak led them to the playoffs. Gardner's the same way. I'm not going to say he's the best quarterback in the NFL. I'm not. That's nonsense. He's nowhere near. But Gardner is definitely better than a lot of other quarterbacks in the NFL that are playing week to week. And if you put the man on a good team, and I'm biased, I'm a fan, I own that. He'd do very well, though, with a starting job in a place like Denver or Pittsburgh or New Orleans. It blows my mind that nobody appears to see the value in Gardner Minshew. Instead, Gardner's going to Philadelphia, a bad team with a coach I don't like or really believe in, that already has a starting quarterback. And by the way, here's what's baffling about this trade. The Jaguars gave him away for nothing. A 5th-round pick, a 6th-round pick. It makes no sense because, first of all, what if Trevor Lawrence gets hurt? Who's their backup? It's the guy who was in the former 49ers backup. I forget his name. The guy from Iowa. Someone will write in the comments. That's their current backup quarterback. I thought Gardner was a great backup at minimum in Jacksonville. And again, I get it. I am a fan of Gardner. But what were teams afraid of? Like, why did people not make a move for him? And what's weird about this is that you ask me, hey, if you trade a 5th or a 6th round pick for a quarterback who can win you games and is on a rookie contract, so he's less than $1 million a year, you got to pay the guy. So the Eagles got a steal. The Jaguars made a horrible trade. Okay, you don't have a backup, and Trevor's going to get the tar beat out of him this year, and you didn't get anything for him. I just don't get it, man. And what's weird about this trade is that all through training camp, the Jaguars split reps between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. They said, hey, 50% of the reps go to Trevor, 50% of the reps go to Gardner Minshew. And they did all that just to trade the guy away. Like, hello, how about the fact that you wasted valuable reps that Trevor Lawrence could have gotten to feel more prepared for week 1? All throughout training camp, you gave this other guy reps just to get rid of him. What was the point of that? So not only does it hurt Gardner, it hurts Trevor Lawrence. It's nonsense. The Jaguars look bad here. They look like a team that doesn't know what they're doing. And so, in my opinion, I think, look, Philly got a steal. The Jaguars made a terrible trade that made no sense. Like, congratulations, a 6th round pick, a guy who's going to get cut next August. Great. Like, who's that pick going to turn into, really? And what did you give up? You gave up a guy who was nothing on your books, a cheap contract who potentially could help you win if Trevor got hurt or who knows, man. It just made no sense to me. And in my opinion, I saw the trade. I wasn't excited. I wasn't fired up. I was just like, where's Pittsburgh? Where's Denver? Where's New Orleans? Like, does nobody see the value in Gardner Minshew? And apparently not. Apparently I'm the only person on planet Earth that, and I don't care about the mullet or the stupid haircuts, the mustache. All that's fluff and nonsense. I don't care. I care about how he plays on the field. Gardner's accurate. He makes good decisions. He can extend plays. He's a galvanizing leader. That's someone I would want on my football team. And the fact that the rest of the NFL doesn't appear to agree, very weird to me. But I will say, I wish Gardner Minshew luck. He's on a better team, I think, now in Philly than Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a terrible spot. Now he's maybe not in the worst spot in the NFL. He's like one of the bottom 10 spots in the NFL. And one thing, I got to feel bad for Gardner here. He got drafted by Jacksonville and then traded to Philadelphia. He's never been able to pick where he went in the NFL. He's been on, I think now, 2 bad organizations. I'm being harsh to Philly, but I don't believe in their coach. I don't believe in the direction they're headed. He's not going to get a chance to play, I don't think, unless Jalen Hurts gets ironically hurt. So we'll see. But I saw this trade and a lot of people were fired up. I was not. I was just saddened and disappointed and like, oh man, where was Washington? Where was Denver or Pittsburgh or New Orleans? Why didn't they trade for Gardner Minshew? Somewhere that doesn't have a long-term plan at quarterback where he maybe could have given a shot to not only be the guy, but maybe like win a lot of games because they got a good roster. And in Philly, it's like, okay, like he's a backup and they don't value him and they don't really have, like, again, this is why he's not one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL is he needs help. He needs a good roster, but the fact that there are teams out there that have a good roster, don't have a good quarterback, and also didn't trade for Gardner Minshew makes no sense to me. I'm rambling now, but I was not excited about the trade. I was actually, and I'm not trying to be negative, but I was disappointed when I saw that trade.